Millions of fierce warriors gathered on the dusty plains of Kurukshetra for the most devastating and legendary conflict of ancient India. Krishna occupied a specific, unexpected space within this chaos. While kings and generals directed their armies from elevated positions, the Supreme Personality took a seat on the front line of the chariot. He sat on a low wooden plank, his skin gradually turning gray under the thick dust of the battlefield, his hands gripped tight around the leather reins. In the hierarchy of Vedic warfare, the charioteer was a subservient role. As these relief carvings show, the driver sat at the feet of the warrior, tasked only with following orders and managing the animals. By choosing this position, Krishna intentionally subverted the social order. He traded the authority of a king for the labor of a servant, prioritizing the needs of his devotee over his own worldly rank. This wasn't a symbolic gesture. Krishna spent 18 days in the scorching heat, shielding Arjuna from flying arrows and maneuvering through the wreckage of fallen chariots. This dynamic is known as Bhakti-vatsalya, the phenomenon where the divine chooses to come under the control of a devotee's affection. At the end of every day, Krishna washed the sweat and dust from the horses' coats and tended to their wounds, ensuring the animals were cared for before he attended to his own needs. He approached the manual labor of a stable hand with the same focus and grace he applied to his roles as a diplomat and a teacher. This shifts the definition of greatness. It suggests that the highest status is not found in being served, but in the willingness to serve others. Beyond the history of the war, the chariot serves as a precise blueprint for the internal struggles we face today. In this metaphor, the chariot itself represents the physical human body. The 5 horses represent our senses, naturally pulling in different directions, chasing various distractions. The reins represent the mind, the tool we use to steer those senses and keep the chariot on its path. Arjuna's initial breakdown on the battlefield mirrors the exhaustion of the human ego, trying to manage these chaotic forces through sheer willpower alone. To find clarity, he had to stop fighting for control and physically hand the reins over to Krishna, asking for guidance. The moment the ego steps down and admits it is overwhelmed, it creates space for a higher wisdom to take the lead. Pride acts as a barrier to learning. It assumes it already knows the path, making it impossible to receive new direction. This explains why the Bhagavad Gita was delivered from the driver's seat. The most profound wisdom in Indian philosophy was spoken from the dust, not from a palace. Real divinity reveals itself through these acts of service and care, rather than the simple exercise of power. The next time a task feels beneath your dignity, remember the image of the charioteer holding the reins, covered in the dirt of Kurukshetra. The one capable of becoming a servant is the one who truly masters the self.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment below. Radhe Radhe.